So we haven't done a well, my December 2nd meeting was actually at her house, but they were more comfortable there. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I won't have to mute myself. Well, welcome. So we've got, you've met, I would assume, Nicole, but Tim Stone is another one of our planning commissioners. He's the other person. That is yeah, it's technically vacant.
Okay. So who wants to make the motions tonight and who wants to be the seconder? Any takers? Tim, I can't hear you.
I can motion.
Yay. And so Jenna, just FYI, just to make this easier, we just pick someone to be the person to make the motions and someone to do the seconds because it's WebEx and it's confusing otherwise. So anybody want to be the second?
I can second.
That was Brent. Great.
That is, yeah.
Okay. So Tim's making the motions and Brent is seconding. And as soon as we're on the TV, we're ready to go. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to call to order the July 13th meeting of the City of Moorhead Planning Commission and Board of Adjustments. Robin, can I get a roll call, please?
Certainly, I would like to just make a couple announcements first, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We have a new Clay County Commissioner starting with us this evening. Her name is Jenna Cayley. Welcome, Jenna.
Thank you.
She's replacing Jim Haney, who did not run for re-election. This will be Ben Hammer's last meeting. He's been serving the Planning Commission for the City of Moorhead since 2017, and I would like to thank him for his commitment to the community. Steve Moore has been appointed to replace the Ward 2 seat, which is the Ben Hammer's seat. And then we also have Ward 4. That seat is currently vacant, but it has been filled as of February 1st by Azat Hader. So we will have a full board at the next Planning Commission meeting. Nicole Matson.
Here.
Brent Beam.
Here.
Tim Stone.
Present.
Steve Lindos.
Here.
And Jenna Cayley.
Here.
Did I hear Ben Hammer?
Didn't I say Ben Hammer? Oh, maybe. I'm sorry, Ben Hammer. I have you on my list. I must just skipped over it. I apologize. Ben Hammer.
No worries. Present.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, do we have any discussion? Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Nicole Matson.
Yes.
Brent Beam.
Yes.
Ben Hammer.
Yes.
Tim Stone.
Yes.
Steve Lindos.
Yes.
And Jenna Cayley.
Yes.
Okay, we have 2 sets of minutes to approve. Can I get a motion to approve? Or first, does anybody have any corrections to either set of minutes? Doesn't sound like it. So can I get a motion to approve the October 7th, 2020 meeting minutes?
A motion to approve October 27 meeting minutes. Chair.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote, please?
And then I would just say as a reminder, if you were not in attendance at that meeting, you can abstain from the voting to approve the minutes. Nicole Matson.
Yes.
Brent Beam.
Yes.
Ben Hammer.
Yes.
Tim Stone.
Yes.
Steve Lindos.
Yes.
And Jenna Cayley. I would
Abstain.
abstain. Okay.
Okay, thank you. And then can I get a motion to approve the December 2nd meeting minutes, please?
Motion to approve December 2nd meeting minutes.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Nicole Matson.
Yes.
Brent Beam.
Yes.
Ben Hammer.
Yes.
Tim Stone.
Yes.
Steve Lindos.
Yes.
And Jenna Cayley.
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any citizens to report on any items that are not on the agenda?
Forrest, do we have any citizens on the line?
No, we don't.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great, thank you. So at this time, we are going to move to our public hearing. We have a public hearing for requests of Prairie Parkway LLC for the following considerations regarding Prairie Parkway First Edition, preliminary plat, the comprehensive plan, and rezone. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing, please?
Motion to open the public hearing for the Prairie Parkway.
I'll second the motion.
Question? Okay, can I get a roll call vote?
Nicole Matson,
Yes.
Brent Beam,
Yes.
Ben Hammer,
Yes.
Tim Stone,
Yes.
Steve Lindos,
Yes.
and Jenna Cayley.
Yes.
Okay, Robin, do you have background information for us?
Certainly. Thank you, Chair Matson and Commissioners. The applicant has requested a preliminary plat, a rezone, and a comprehensive plan amendment for this 31.5 acre subdivision to be called Prairie Parkway First Edition. The proposed subdivision will contain single and multifamily residential and mixed-use development. We have received one public comment prior to the public hearing from Gwen Moore, who is a neighbor just directly to the north. And that comment was included in your packet. She was concerned about the number of homes and the small lot sizes. The properties would be too tightly constructed. The garages would be too small, that cars would be forced to park in the driveway or on the street. At this time, staff is recommending approval of the preliminary plat and recommending to table the rezone and the comprehensive plan amendment until the final plat is submitted to the Planning Commission. Due to the fact that there are proposed changes going to be made from between the preliminary plat process and the final plat process. And to try to explain the zoning designation between the differences, because we're going to be moving some lines, it will just be easier to demonstrate with the final plat process. In order to table those two items, the applicant will need to waive the 60-day statutory deadline. And for demonstration purposes, I have this is a proposed reconfiguration. I thought I had it open, but I did not. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. The developer submitted a draft rendering of some of the changes that they're going to make between the preliminary and the final plat. So I would like to show you, because it does address some of staff's comments and also some of the comments that they received from the neighborhood. As soon as I can grab this here. Okay. Now let me try and share it with you. Can you see that? Can you see the draft plan? No, not yet. Here we go. Okay. Now and this is not the right orientation either. Let me see if I can rotate it for you. Okay, so the preliminary plan that you'll be approving this evening has 25th Street going all the way to the bottom lot here. So in this reconfiguration, the developer has turned the lots so that it would just be one long block. The street will no longer go through. That was one of the concerns of the adjacent neighbors with traffic cutting through the proposed mixed-use development on the south of the subdivision. They were concerned about traffic cutting through and then going up to their neighborhood and, depending on how the intersections would be signed, they were concerned about speeds and children playing in the front yard. So, and then there was also an issue with sewer connectivity that we made a comment about internally, and this configuration will also actually afford easier connection to existing infrastructure for sewer. I am going to I'd be happy to answer any questions, and also the developers. I saw the developers representative was on the call. I can't see my screen as I'm sharing it, but he can certainly answer other questions as well. Do you want me to leave this plan up for now?
Can you scroll down so I can see the bottom of it again?
Yes. So this would be the mixed use portion of the development. This will have to be rezoned, and the future land use would have to be changed to a mixed use. And now I see the zoning and comp plan recommendations may change for this area due to now it looks like there's some singles and twin homes showing here, whereas I believe there was multifamily here before. So these are meant to be showing as retail buildings possibly on the corner here. So those would be retail, for smaller shops, or maybe they could get one tenant in one of the buildings itself. And
So
then
it's zoned multi-use, so it could also be retail on the bottom and housing above, or?
that's correct. This originally they were going to rezone this whole southern parcel mixed use, but I would assume this may just be mixed use where they could have residential and commercial, and then this might be residential only, or they could keep this as mixed use if they wanted to keep it more open to what the builders wanted to build. But it's an interesting concept to add some commercial in this area because this is kind of out, this is next to the south side regional park. So some uses would be probably very accommodating while people are attending events at the park.
Robin, this is Matt from Grassroots Development.
Yes.
What you're looking at the bottom of the screen is more of a concept than anything else. These two items, the mixed use section, both the retail and what's shown here as townhomes, are not spoken for. It's just representative of the zoning that we'd like to pursue.
Right. So just to be clarified, planning commissioners, this is not what you're approving tonight. You're approving the plat that was in your packet. I just wanted to have this drawing as just for demonstration to show you that we're going to most likely be making some lot configurations between the preliminary and the final plat. And it's just, I thought it'd be easier to show it on the actual drawing than me try to explain what they're proposing to do. So, but we think it's a great plan, and I think once we bring the final plat to the commission, you'll like it too.
So if I might, I was just going to say another thing I noticed, and I know this is preliminary, as we're not looking at this plot plan tonight, but I like the replacement of 25th by what looks like a pedestrian way, with the possibility for connectivity via walking and not always having to have cars.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. That I know I emailed you about this earlier, Robin. So, but for everybody else's information, last meeting in person last time we talked about snow removal and the issues with cul-de-sacs and how that's a problem for the public works department. And this obviously doesn't have a cul-de-sac in it, but it does have that little bulb. And I do see that green space in the middle that probably would be able to retain the removed snow. Is that, I don't know if that was the purpose of that or what, but I would just like to kind of highlight that as an issue that we've discussed in the past, and ask for that to be considered as you're putting together the final plat. Do any other commissioners have any questions for either Robin or the developer?
You said this is by the Southside Regional Park. How close is it to the park? I think kids need to be able to get to green play space easily. So curious about that.
It's directly across is it 28th or is it 23rd?
23rd Street.
23rd, yeah.
It's directly across 23rd Street.
And there is the city has a master plan for that park, and right now there is no playground at that park, but there is one being currently planned for. An inclusive playground will be located in that area.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from commissioners for either Robin or the developer's representative?
I guess I'm just curious. This is Brent Beam. I'm curious as to what's going to happen with the trees in the northeast corner of the lot. It seems like it's pretty well wooded up in that area. Is there any plan for retaining any of that?
That's been a discussion through our entire process, is what can we keep? We'd like to keep as much as possible. The developer himself has joined in. I don't know if Justin, you wanted to add to your thoughts about the keeping as much greenery and access to green space as possible in this development.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to do our best to make sure the residents have access to nature. I mean, that's part of having that pathway. I get we got to figure out who's going to maintain it and how that's actually going to work, who owns it. So those are things we're working on, and we'll have to have a proposal to make that work. We're also looking at amendments to have a reasonable tree requirement to make sure that we have a decent amount of planters. I think in that corner, we can see those evergreens on the lot. A lot of those other trees are, you walk around it, there's a lot of broken, fallen, and probably a lot of those will end up getting cleared, right? For homes. So, but I think there is a good perimeter of trees, that Gus did some planning for maintaining, and we're thankful for that we'll be able to use for these homes on the east and to the northeast. So.
Okay.
So if you're referring to the planted shelter belt trees, the intent would be to keep as many as possible. The cottonwood forest in the middle, our understanding is that there's some of them need to go, some of them are dead now. So obviously we would do two things. One, keep as many trees as possible, and then two, it's the intent of the developer to incorporate some landscape requirements within the covenants of development itself to enhance what exists and hopefully take a next step in what greenfield development looks like in this part of the state.
Yeah, we're very cognizant of, what can we do to help, the design as you do enter more of these medium density type neighborhoods. I know, the narrower the lot, the less, they're more challenged to get curb appeal. So we're doing our best to try to raise that bar a little bit and still allow for parking and blend the density here with what's connected to existing, and still have the potential for a small commercial plaza that can service the area in the future. That'll take time to develop and a little creativity to get that to work economically on the fringes, but that's what we'll continue to work on. So hopefully it makes a good balanced neighborhood, when it all plays out. So.
Okay. That's all I have. Thanks.
Any other questions from the commissioners?
I do have one question. Robin, I assume that with tabling this, we'll have then another public hearing next time, right?
This satisfies the legal requirement for the public hearing, but we can certainly advertise it again and have another public hearing, or just have a public, have available for public comment. It depends on how much the application changes. So right now, what I advertised for the rezoning was for residential, low density, medium density, mixed use, and then also public open space, because that was included in the original plat drawing. That's going to be reconfigured. So If it's a huge change from the original, then I can certainly re-advertise it as another public hearing to do another one.
I was thinking just in terms of the neighbors that did express concern. This is a change; they haven't seen this. It looks to me like it might address directly some of their concerns. And I know I had the same question that Chair Mattson thought when I saw a cul-de-sac. I thought, oh no, if Steve Moore was, oh wait a minute, Steve Moore will be on this committee, and he would bring up cul-de-sacs as bad. So. But that looks like that's being addressed very, very actually in a new way in this new plat if it does go through too.
And we will be required, I should fix my comment. We don't have to necessarily do a public hearing for the rezone and the comp plan, but we will have to do a public hearing for the final plat. So I'll just re-advertise kind of everything that we'll be considering so that the neighbors are seeing that we're making some changes to the applications.
This has nothing to do with this thing. It all has to do with technology, but I'm getting a bunch of buzzing feedback. I don't know if other people are hearing that too, or if it's just me.
It's from my computer when I am not muted. I apologize.
I just wanted to mention we did do a survey for the neighborhood, and in 7 or 8 phone calls from neighbors, and there was a pretty adamant concern about the potential for having an apartment in the plat. We pulled some lots to have a bigger depth and kind of shifts that southeast corner to be more of a, you know, a townhome potential plat. So try to be cognizant of that and slowing down some of the neighborhood and fixed out a few of the lots. You know, we know we're still have a pushing density a little bit, but we try to do our best to dress that up and really trying to make the economics work too. These 2 parcels have about 1.2 million in specials on them. There's retention in, but just trying to find that balance, you know, so people can get into homes that's still livable and blend it with what's there. So, but yeah, the neighbors have been great. They're all very honest, and we have a good conversation, and it's been a pleasure going in a route. So, yeah, just wanted to add that.
Any other questions from any commissioners?
No.
Okay, does the applicant have anything else that you'd like to let the commission know about before we close the public hearing?
I think we've gone over it. Well, yeah, we've enjoyed the process, and you know, we'll keep doing our best to make this a strong development for, you know, balanced design. So,
well, thank you for being here tonight, and we appreciate your work with the neighbors as well. That's always super important to us. So, are there any citizens who wish to be heard either for or against the requested action?
Hold on, Chair Mattson. The phone just rang, so we're going to find out if this is a caller.
Okay. I've never hosted a call-in show, but this will be fun.
Yeah, I would just also remind, I will mute myself. If you're not speaking, also mute yourselves, because that's where the feedback comes from. And for some reason, it's just some lucky people that have feedback more than others, like myself. Any update for us, or is he still talking? Oh, he's still on the phone, so it'll just be a minute. There's been a couple calls.
So I could fill it up with LCR circuits and feedback and electrodynamics if you want.
You can call me later, Steve, when I'm trying to fall asleep. No offense. I could also just add that since we do have Justin on the call, if he's amenable to the 60-day waiver for the tabling of the items. To the 60-day waiver for the tabling of the items.
His screen is loading. He'll come back.
I'm back now. Sorry about that.
Waiver for the tabling of the items.
His screen is loading. He'll come back.
I'm back now. Sorry about that.
Okay, do we have someone on the phone?
I'm on the phone.
And who are you?
I'm Steve Trandam.
And Steve, what is your address, please? Do we have someone on the phone?
My address is 3442 25th Street South, so I'm...
Who are you?
Oh, my address is 3442 25th Street South, so I'm...
Who are you?
Oh,
Okay, Lucas, are you hearing that duplication?
I'm hearing kind of a delay, yes.
Yeah.
You said, I'm sorry, it was Steve on the phone?
Kind of a delay.
Hey, Robin, the caller might still have the meeting on in the background.
Right. That's what I was going to ask.
While they're speaking.
On the phone? If anybody has the meeting on in the background, please turn it off.
Okay, I've turned that off.
Okay, thank
Is
you.
that better?
Much better. Can you say again your name and address, please?
Sure. Stephen Trandam, 3442 25th Street South.
Okay.
I'm just 2 houses away from the current cul-de-sac.
Okay. And did you want to speak for or against this preliminary plat that we're discussing tonight?
Well, I really appreciate the changes that have been made and what was on the screen tonight. And I think that is, well, as far as my wife and I, we really like that. The fact that there won't be a through street all the way.
Okay, any other comments that you had for us this evening?
Well, I appreciated the contact from the developer as well as the city to keep us informed. Thank you so much for that, both of you.
Great. Thank you for your attendance this evening, for calling in, and we appreciate your feedback as we're making these decisions. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, did we have any other callers, Robin?
We do, Madam Chair. We have another call from Beth Ann at 2812 40th Avenue South, and she would like to know what is being planned to control the traffic at the intersection. Can we find out which intersection she's speaking of? Oh, she's no longer. I'll try to contact her outside of the meeting to get her, and we can address the question, and then we can also address it at the next meeting as well. Looks like there's one more call.
So we have someone on the line right now?
Yep, there's one more call coming in. Vance?
Yeah.
Okay, Vance, can we get your full name and your address, please?
Vance Kittlestead, 3441 25th Street South.
And what comment did you want to make about this preliminary plat that we're discussing?
Well, what I'm kind of wondering is, we have this, whatever you call it, high density, low density housing north of us, east of us, and now we're going to have it south of us in our area. And it just seems to me that it's kind of funny. If the city of Moorhead would try to put something like this west of Highway 75 in South Moorhead, it would never go through because the people over there would never allow it. I mean, you're trying to put how many? It's like putting 10 pounds of mud in a 5-pound bag. I think they're going to have, what, like 45-foot lots? I mean, when you get done with a 45-foot lot, you don't really have much of anything to do with it. You're going to build your house above your garage. By the time you put everything in your garage, you don't have room to park vehicles in it. And I've seen that in the area east of us and north of us. The garages are full of junk, so they can't park their cars in there. They're either in the driveway or in the streets. I don't know why they're trying to put so many homes in such a small area. That would be my comment. I am totally against it because of lot size, for one thing. I think they could build bigger homes on better lots, and I think they would sell as good as, a $200,000 house. But anyway, that's my comment, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you for calling and for sharing your thoughts on this preliminary plat that we're discussing. Any other citizens who wish to be heard?
Madam Chair, we do not have any more callers.
Great. Okay. Can I get a motion to close the public hearing, please?
Motion to close the public hearing.
A piece like this that has 1.2 million in specials on it. We
I'll second that.
Similar lot sizes on the north side of this. Very, really the same lots. Try to get this to blend and flow. And when you start looking at 40th Avenue and the zoning code, that's where we were trying to do our best to make it responsible, but yet also, play in line with what the speed zoning has and really make the economics work so this, can be developed. And how can we raise the bar on those smaller lots, these covenants to where we can push on the garage door and architectural review to make them more sound in design and really try to get a multitude of builders. If we can find somebody to do a valley loaded and give more curb appeal, we will. We're reaching out to regional builders. I get how some of these lots have been designed and developed, and it gets pretty monotonous, and sometimes they don't have enough parking, so we've accommodated that with the width. I do feel his concern, and they've had it really good there with that cul-de-sac, and I get the pain. But yeah, that's we're trying to look at the whole comprehensive picture here, of course, and how to make this work the best we can for design. Yeah, balance.
Okay, thank you very much.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
We have one more caller. His name is Douglas.
Okay. Douglas, can you please turn off the audio on however you're watching the public hearing? And then can you please state your full name and your address, please?
3429, I'm sorry, Douglas Grenz, 3429 25th Street South.
Okay, and what is your comment?
My comment is Vance had just called in a moment ago, a neighbor that's just 2 houses down from us. Mm-hmm. And I totally agree with what his logics are. When we moved here, and most of us have moved here, about 10 years ago, it was a brand new development. There wasn't many houses south of us. There was hardly any houses north of us up to 30th Avenue. And we were told that it was going to be somewhat of a type of a neighborhood where even the fences had to be colored to the home color. So we were thinking this would be a great place to be. Now, 25th Street has got a cul-de-sac at the south side of it, and that was a great reason why my wife and I moved here. We're from North Dakota, and we came here 10 years ago, and we're thinking we're going to retire right here, and not having a through street was what we really liked. Just hoping that, and I understand they need to progress and go on into the future with development for housing and residential, but what I seen tonight wasn't really totally clear yet. And just hoping if there's anything that could be done in the future, more of reality. I mean, show me. I mean, I'm looking at the plats on the TV, and I don't know where. I think I see 25th, but I don't really see 40th. I don't see 28th. I don't see 23rd, and then there's a few streets in between. I don't know if they're 27th or whatever. So, but just hoping that get more of a clarity in the future.
Okay, Douglas, thank you so much. I don't know if you were watching when.
I'm sorry.
If you were watching when Robin showed the updated preliminary plat, or that's under discussion, it's not finalized yet, that did not have 25th Street anymore.
You're right, and so they're thinking of not doing a through street. Am I hearing that correctly?
That is, yes.
Okay, and that's what my other concern was too. My wife did remind me before I called you. So,
sure.
Anyway, but I did enjoy I like the new lookout as it was now. Homes going from east to west instead of from south to north, or what have you. So, but well, I'm sure we'll get it all corrected and get it right. Thank you.
Thanks, Douglas. And just keep an eye out for the next month's Planning Commission packet that will have should have the final plat that we'll be discussing, and that should be able to, you should be able to see a little bit more clearly where the streets are on the plat.
Sure. Thank you.
Yep. Any other citizens who wish to be heard?
Doesn't appear we have any more callers, Madam Chair.
Okay, so we did have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Do we have any discussion on the motion to close the public hearing? Doesn't sound like it, so can I get a roll call vote, please?
Nicole Matson?
Yes.
Brent Beam?
Yes.
Ben Hammer? Ben Hammer?
Yes.
Timothy Stone?
Yes.
Steve Lindos?
Yes.
And Jenna Cayley?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to have a motion to approve the preliminary plat, and then a motion after we voted on that motion. Then we're going to have a motion to to table the amendment of the comprehensive plan and rezoning. Is that correct, Robin?
Yes.
Okay, and Commissioner Stone, did you? We're all clear on what motions we need from here.
So yeah, how I understand it at this point, we have a motion to approve the preliminary plat.
Correct, and then we're going to vote on that one, and then we'll have a motion to table the other ones. Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the preliminary plat, please?
Certain motion to approve the preliminary plat.
I'll second.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Just point for clarification. Let me just double check 1 second. The recommendation for approval, the motion should include the 5 conditions listed on page 8 of the packet.
Okay, so can we get an amended motion to approve the preliminary plat with the 5 recommendations, what Robin just said?
So, motion to approve the preliminary plat with the 5 recommendations on page 8.
I'll second.
Okay. So now the floor is open for discussion by commission members. For me, my part, I just want to thank the developer for attending and for being willing to engage the neighbors on this. And I appreciate that you're hearing people's concerns and, doing the best that you can to address them. So thank you for that. Do any other commissioners have any other discussion before we take a vote on the motion?
Not any really discussion. I just agree with Miss Nicole Matson. I just appreciate everybody. Appreciate the hard work. Appreciate the new plat you're showing. I think in my personal opinion that retail might be a little exaggerated, but I understand it's just a concept plat. But I think the housing, the lots probably are kind of close, but again, it's what it is, and I'm happy to see that area being developed, and I think it's something that they need in that specific location. So, thank you.
Any other comments from the commissioners?
Well, I'll make one comment, and that is our world is rapidly changing, and I'm not going to say it's going to be 10 years, but 10 years ago we didn't have iPhones and weren't doing all this technology stuff. I can easily imagine in 10 years' time, we're not going to have cars and need for garages as we do right now, and that people are going to have self-driving cars, and they'll just call a car when they need one. And that will be great because we'll have less need for parking lots. We'll have more space for green and kids playing. So, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about now. But I think that the developer is looking towards future issues, which I think is good.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, I don't hear anybody else. So Robin, can I get a roll call vote on the motion to approve?
Matson,
Yes.
Beam,
Yes.
Hammer,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Lindos,
Yes.
Kaylee.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. And then can I get a motion to table the amendment of the comprehensive plan and the rezoning?
A motion that we table the comprehensive plan and the rezoning.
Second.
Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Matson,
Yes.
Beam,
Yes.
Hammer,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Lindos,
Yes.
and Kaylee.
Yes.
Okay, great. That motion passes as well. So that concludes our public hearing, and we are now going to move on to the rest of our business. The first item of which is our, well, I guess the next item is our annual meeting. Robin, did you want to present the 2020 annual report?
Madam Chair, I would just like to explain, especially for the new commissioner, that every year this is an annual requirement for the bylaws, and you approve your work from the previous year and present it to the council. So it's an informational item, but it is also required by your bylaws.
So do we need to approve the report as well?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments or changes, amendments to the report before we vote on it?
No.
Okay, it doesn't sound like we have any comments. So could I get a motion to approve the annual report, please?
Motion to approve the annual report. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Robin.
No, I was just getting ahead of myself.
So do I amend the motion to approve the annual report?
I think you made the motion, so I think.
Okay. All right, thanks.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mattson? Mattson?
Yes.
Beam?
Yes.
Hammer?
Yes.
Stone?
Yes.
Lindos?
Yes.
And Kaylee?
Yes.
Okay, well, the annual report is approved. Now we need to move on to the 2021 election of officers. And I have held the gavel for 2 years now, and so I cannot continue as chair. So we will need to elect a new chair at a minimum. And then Tim has been the vice chair and the MetroCog alternate representative for the last year, I believe, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so Robin, Tim would still be eligible to be vice chair if he doesn't want to be chair. Is that accurate?
Say that again.
Tim would still be eligible to be vice chair and or MetroCog representative if he wants to.
Yes.
Given that he's only been in those seats for 1 year.
Yes.
Okay. So now where do we go next? Does anybody want to be the chair? Somebody has to, that isn't me. It's like a rule.
If I could, I would nominate Steve Linda as chair.
Steve, would you be open to serving as chair of the planning commission?
Typically, as a city council member, I would prefer having a member of the public be chair. Just because I view this as a city public engagement piece. And so I get double vote on this because it comes before the city council. And so I feel like it's better if a resident gets to chair this. But I would nominate Tim because I feel like being vice chair is just, that next step. Practice. Yeah, exactly. And so Brent would be then vice chair.
I can do that.
Yeah, ideally you would want at least a little bit of veteran membership to be the chair and the vice chair, because we also have 2 other new members coming on, and I'm not sure if they'd be available to do either role either.
Tim, are you willing to serve as chair of the planning commission?
In I think Ben Hammer would make a great chair here.
Oh, he's done. This is his last meeting, so.
Wait a minute, Miss Mattson, is this your last meeting also, or?
I've been the chair for 2 years, and I can't be the chair anymore.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, I'll try to step up and be the magnificent chairperson you were. So I'm sure I'll try to follow in your footsteps and chair position.
Well, that's excellent. Can I move to? I guess I don't know if I can. Somebody else has to move to elect. We have to move to elect Tim as chair.
Yeah, we have to. We have to have nominations, then we need to vote.
Okay, somebody nominate Tim, please.
I will nominate Tim Stone to be chair of the Moorhead City Planning Commission.
I will second.
Great. We don't have to
that
discuss
nomination. I guess we don't need a second, I guess.
Yeah. So can we get a roll call vote, please?
Mattson?
Yes.
Beam?
Yes.
Hammer?
Yes.
Tim Stone, you want to vote for yourself?
Do I recuse myself, or can I
vote for yourself?
You can vote for yourself.
Sure. Yes.
Lindos?
Yes.
And Kaylee?
Yes.
Great. Congratulations, Chairman Stone.
I super humbly accept. Super humbly.
Great. Well, remind me to send you my public hearing protocol worksheet that I made. That will be, I think, helpful.
I'd like to nominate Brent Beam as vice chair.
Great. Anybody else interested in contesting for vice chair? No? Okay, super. Can we have a vote?
Who seconded that?
Do we have to have a second for nominations?
I'll second.
Typically.
I'll second Brent Beam as vice chair.
Okay.
Okay, you can see how much Robert's Rules of Order I've retained over the last 2 years. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mattson,
Yes.
Beam,
Yes.
Hammer,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Lindos,
Yes.
and Kaylee.
Yes.
Great. Congratulations, Vice Chair Beam.
Thank you.
So then, Tim, did you want to continue on the MetroCog policy board as an alternate, or did you want to not?
I'm open if anyone wants to, I guess, contest that.
Well, let's ask this: are you willing to do it if no one else is interested?
I'm definitely willing to do it if no one else is interested.
Is anyone else interested in serving in that role?
Could you give a brief sort of explanation of that role?
Tim, do you want to? It's been a while since I've been there, so.
Oh, well, I think it's basically you're just a liaison for one of the commissioners, the city commissioners, which for me it was Chuck Hendrickson that I was filling in for the times I did fill in, which was a couple times, and then basically just being up to speed. I think the MetroCog is a commission or part or board that's for the not only transportation but a lot of the planning that's happening in Fargo Moorhead area, but it's including Dilworth, Holly, Moorhead, Fargo, how the funds are allocated, especially since it's over the state lines. How we see it as one generalized area, but technically, obviously, it's one Minnesota and North Dakota, but we have that relationship here. So pretty much that's the overall crux of what's of that board, and then just being familiar with the projects in the area of the infrastructure, transportation, water management, and so on and so forth in those areas, if I can, to give you an overall concept.
Okay, if you're not interested, this is something I would definitely take on if you want a break.
I'm more than happy if you took over that vice chair.
All right.
Okay. Can someone nominate Brent Beam as the MetroCog Policy Board alternate representative?
I would like to nominate Brent Beam as the MetroCog Policy Chair. Liaison.
And I will second that. And just so you know, Brent, I am the Moorhead City Council representative to that. And I would say that, in terms of as an alternate, your responsibility is you get to vote when I'm not able to. But you're more than welcome to attend meetings and kind of participate as able.
Okay, very good.
And I will say I found them very, very interesting when I was the alternate member, even though I didn't get to vote all that often, but it was just a really interesting look at the metro area from a different perspective. So can we get a vote, please, on the nomination?
Mattson?
Yes.
Beam?
Yes.
Hammer?
Yes.
Stone?
Absolutely.
Lindos?
Yes.
And Kaylee?
Yes.
Okay, great. Welcome to the MetroCog Policy Board, Brent Beam.
Great, thank you.
That concludes our election of officers. Do we have any other reports or information?
Madam Chair, I would just like to note that the caller that we had from the public hearing, Beth Ann, she had a question about how to control traffic at the intersection. She was talking about 28th and 40th. So I will try to follow up with her on that because I don't know, that's off-site of the subdivision, but right now 40th is a minor arterial, so I believe there's a portion of it that's 40 miles per hour. So I can speak with this traffic engineer to see, you know, with future, I'm not sure how it's signed right now. I would assume there's probably stop signs at 28th and 40th, but I'm not quite sure. I will follow up with her and I can bring that information back to the final plat meeting as well.
Great, thank you.
I think from my standpoint, having, you know, both run biked in that area, the development that is occurring is increasing that intersection. It used to be a sleepy intersection with, you know, one car rolling through every once in a while. And now, especially at certain times with the church and more of the development, it can get quite busy. And so I think that just having a long-term plan of, okay, what are we going to do is very useful.
Okay, any other reports or information?
Nothing, Madam Chair.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
And we have to vote. I swear, I can't believe I have to ask this every time. Do we have to vote?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Now it's Tim Stone's problem. So anyway, meeting everybody. Thanks so much for being here.
Only if someone objects to adjourning do you have to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.